Brooklyn Independent Television.
This week, we are not in Brooklyn, we are in Long Island, and joining me is Sensei Nardu of Budokhan Martial Arts Academy. Long Island, you're from Brooklyn. How did you get here to Long Island?
Well, from Brooklyn to Lynbrook. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and one of the aspects of my training was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And the academy that I first started training at was right here in Valley Stream. My first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teacher was Matt Serra, and at that time he was teaching along with Rodrigo Gracie. And that's
Gracie brothers, right?
Yes.
You started mixed martial arts?
Yes, exactly, yes. And we started right in Valley Stream on Central Avenue. And it was a small dojo, and we shared it with another martial arts school. And then ultimately, Rodrigo had moved and further east into Lynbrook, which is where we are now. So I continued training with him and training also in the academy in the city with Professor Renzo Gracie. And I pretty much opened up a school right where I learned the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it was always easy for me to get here. If you're familiar with Brooklyn, it's just a few exits away from South Brooklyn. It's just a few exits away. It's pretty close.
Well, people say, all right, fine, that's Long Island, but why not Brooklyn?
Well, we didn't open a school in Brooklyn for very practical reasons. I initially wanted to open a school right on Avenue N, okay, right in Brooklyn. We were going to open a school right there, but the rent was insane. Okay, the rent was ridiculous. You know, it was. You know, I started the academy, Budokhan, from scratch. We had 0 students. Okay, so with 0 students, we're now well over 100 students. It was mainly for reasons of affordability initially. You know, we just couldn't afford the rent in Brooklyn. It was too much. And the thing is, like, a lot of people, when I moved to Long Island, I finally got the academy in Long Island. People were saying, like, oh man, I wish you opened a school in Brooklyn. It's like, I've been in Brooklyn for 15 years. My teacher is still in Brooklyn. I'm still in Brooklyn. So I never left. Brooklyn's in the heart. I'm still in Brooklyn. If you want to train in Brooklyn, call me up. I'm easy to reach, www.budobj.com. Reach me. I'll teach you in Brooklyn, in Prospect Park, wherever you want to meet. I'm still there. And I also have a lot of other good friends who also teach in Brooklyn. Brooklyn BJJ. There's a lot of great schools in Brooklyn. Even my teacher Renzo Gracie, he just opened up a monster academy in Williamsburg. So I'm still there. So you know, if you want to train with me, it's just a matter of getting in touch with me and we train.
Tell us about your background in mixed martial arts, the various arts that you are familiar with, and you know, your degrees and your belts.
Okay. Well, you know, my teacher who got me the most into all of the different arts was Sifu Ralph Mitchell. He's more than like a teacher, he's more like a father to me and to those who he's trained. We have a very, very long relationship, and we've been together through it all. He was a prime force back in the 60s and 70s here in New York City. He was instrumental because he was one of the few who used Chinese Kung Fu and functionalized it in martial art tournaments.
Was he also involved with Master Moses Powell? And
yes,
like that?
Yes, he was. Dr. Moses Powell was actually, you know, very influential on him, as well as Dr. Powell's student, Soke Little John Davis. Soke Little John Davis and Sifu Mitchell are like brothers, you know, and to me they're like my, you know, wow, I look up to them. So it was Sifu Ralph Mitchell who really opened the door for me and introduced me to appreciate the other sportive aspects of martial arts. I was a Kung Fu person, and that's all I wanted to hear about was Chinese Kung Fu. That was my thing. I wasn't that much into the other stuff. I wanted to do Kung Fu. And it just so happened that my Sifu was the vice president of the East Coast Kung Fu Federation. And he was one of the first non-Chinese to learn Southern Praying Mantis Kung Fu here in New York. So when I heard that, that was it. You know, I had to learn that. And he doesn't only teach Chinese Kung Fu, he also teaches the boxing and the judo and the Thai boxing.
And that's why they call it mixed martial arts, because it's a mixture of all.
Yeah, well, today they're calling it mixed martial arts. Okay. My Sifu, for him, it was he saw the totality, and he saw the need that, that every martial art had its strength and weakness. So we called it universal. So he called it universal defense, and that's what it was the universal defense system. Today it's termed as MMA or mixed martial arts, just to make sense to people that they're not doing one style. It's a multiple of styles people are fighting with.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining me, we are in Long Island this week at Sensei Nardu's Budokhan Martial Arts Academy. And also we are going to, right now in this segment, basically going to the politics of mixed martial arts. And again, it was knocked down in New York City at the New York, and also at the New York State level in the legislative body a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And your thoughts about it being knocked down again? I mean, they've been trying to get it instated ever since Governor Pataki has declared it illegal to compete.
Yeah, at this point it's like it's ridiculous. At this point it's almost comical. It's almost like they're just teasing us so much as martial artists. It's like we all get the feel that it's going to be legalized. We all start getting excited. We all start revving up. And it's almost like someone there is playing a game. They're like, yes, it's going to be legal. Hey, no, it's not. It's not going to be legal. So it's, at this point, it's just really, we had this conversation, I think, almost 2-3 years ago. And here we are at the same spot. On the grassroots level, a lot of martial artists have taken whatever steps they could. I myself, we had petitions. I had stacks of flyers. We were on subway trains. We were in the streets handing out. I have students here. I have their parents. Everyone was involved. We filled out. We wrote letters. We sent all this stuff in. We got it all done. We've shown that martial arts is nothing but positive for everyone. And then still, for us to get slammed like this, it's really.
What do you feel is the reasons why it continues every year? It comes up for a vote.
Yeah.
In Albany, and then it gets knocked down again.
Well, it's either two things. It's either financial or lack of education, maybe a combination of the two. People are saying that, people are not educated about MMA. They need more education. I don't think they want to be educated about it. I don't think they want to hear that mixed martial artists are great people. Just the other day, an MMA guy stopped someone in a robbery situation. It seems like our cries are falling on deaf ears. Maybe they're sort of stuck or set in their way. At this point, I'm going to do the best that I can with my crew and with everyone else to help promote mixed martial arts in a positive light.
Sensei, there are those out there that say, hey, this is a violent sport. Why should we expose our children in New York State to this sport? But then on the other angle, you have young children who are playing football at the Pee Wee level, at the high school level, and the concussions are just, as far as in the media, you've been reading several reports about the concussion level in the NFL and at the high school level has increased. So are those critics being hypocritical on one angle, saying that, mixed martial arts is too violent, but yet every Sunday, man, every Saturday, we out there saying, knock them out. Knock the snot out of them.
Sure. I think it all falls back to lack of education, lack of understanding. There's nothing wrong with football. There's nothing wrong with mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts is fine in everywhere you go. We've been fighting in New Jersey. We've been fighting in Florida. We've been fighting in Nevada. We've been fighting in Oklahoma. We're traveling to all these states. To make an argument that mixed martial arts is too violent, basically they just don't understand what's going on. It's a matter of understanding that mixed martial arts is a game of chess. It's not a game of checkers. Mixed martial arts is a thinking man's sport. It's an art where one is trying to use his attributes, being either boxing, maybe a Thai boxing or jiu-jitsu, versus another opponent who's probably or maybe a wrestler or maybe a striker.
So let's say, for instance, hypothetically speaking, I'm a wrestler. you're a kung fu artist. As a mixed martial art, I would fight you as far as in the competition. Is that the gist of it?
Sure. MMA has evolved from that premise. Okay. That you're a wrestler and I'm a kung fu man, right? And in the beginning it was this style and that style. In the beginning there was no rules, right? No gloves, right? No weight classes. So mixed martial arts has come such a long way from that what happened is even the mind of the fighter evolved. So if you were the wrestler, you start to realize, wait a minute, I need to know how to start striking. If I'm the kung fu man, I start realizing, wait a minute, I need to learn some grappling. So what happened is we evolved. And so did everyone else. Why New York is still behind, I don't know.
Explain this, the oval, the fence. Why not a ring? Because, explain that also, because to me, it should maybe be held in a ring type of environment, or if not even, it's not a ring type of environment, maybe an oval that's shaped like a ring.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've fought in the ring myself. And one of the issues when you're fighting in the ring is that when you clinch or you get close to your opponent and they try to take you down, a lot of times the probability or possibility of falling out of the ring is a problem. One time I had an opponent in a choke and he put his leg out of the ring to try to escape out of the ring and had to pull us back in. People were reaching inside the ring. The ring is really unsafe for mixed martial art competition because when we clash, we need something strong like an octagon or some type of a cage to really withstand the impact of the corners.
And is the fence safe as far as going up against the fence?
It's solid. It hurts a little bit, It hurts a little bit. And in fact, when you touch it, you're like, ah. But when you start going, your adrenaline's pumping. You don't even feel it. It's good. It's the safest thing to train in.
We're back here with Sensei Nardu of Budokhan Martial Arts Academy, and we're discussing martial arts, mixed martial arts here in New York State, and what is the probability of maybe, since this is a political year, the politicians may kick it into gear maybe next year. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, at this point, we're going to have to let the politicians fight it out, let them work on that.
And the other question I have, I don't know if I asked this question, but I got to ask you this question. Does mixed martial arts need New York State in order to survive, in order to thrive as a sport?
Well, look how far we've come so far. MMA has not been.
Because are you beating a dead horse at this point? Because people say, you guys keep coming back. It's almost like the point that you're begging, please, sir, please accept us.
At this point, MMA has come so far, even without it being so-called legal here in New York. And the Ultimate Fighting Championship is growing every single day. It's bringing in tremendous amounts of revenue. It would just be good. It would be good if we could have it here in New York. Boxing happens in Madison Square Garden. All these things. A martial art tournament happens every day somewhere in New York City.
But why that? Why a martial arts tournament? Is it because it's one particular art? And mixed martial arts or MMA is a mixture of the various arts?
I believe the reason why it's like that is because martial arts in general, it's not necessary to have a sanctioning body for a martial art, let's say a taekwondo or a karate or kung fu tournament. It's not necessary to have a sanctioning body. People come down, have weigh-in and regulation and legislation. That's not necessary. So therefore, martial art tournaments happen all the time. Mixed martial arts is a whole different situation. Now we have amateurs, we have professionals, we have rules, we have regulations, and that's why martial art tournament can happen, but not a mixed martial art tournament can happen. It almost doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. It's basically because there's no sanctioning body that's necessary for a regular martial art tournament. Yeah.
But mixed martial arts, you have to have people from various communities.
Sure.
In the
you got to remember the martial art tournament. When you win the first place, you walk away with a big trophy. It's not really that much money involved in martial arts. People do martial arts because they love martial arts. People do mixed martial arts because they love mixed martial arts.
How much money is involved?
In mixed martial arts, there's money involved. In mixed martial arts, the fighters have to be paid. It all depends on the promoter and the event. A large show can make pretty good money these days, almost good money. A small show, it's okay. Enough to pay the rent, maybe the mortgage, hopefully, for 1 month, maybe 2. Yeah.
From the business angle, for someone that's looking to get in on the business side of mixed martial arts, how vast are the opportunities?
Tremendous. Especially if it's legalized here in New York. Then we have events on a regular basis. Now you got to think about all this time we've been traveling. We take all of our team and we leave New York. So whatever revenue, let's say we go to a hotel, we rent a car, right? We get food for the fighter. All the things we do for a fighter is a whole team. That's one person. That's a lot of money for one person, right? Well, let's say you have 18 fighters on a card. All those 18 fighters just brought all that money to New Jersey. So there we go, New Jersey, nice. That could be happening right here in Manhattan. That could be happening right here in Brooklyn. That could be happening here in Long Island. It used to happen in Long Island, you know, but it's unfortunate because all those so-called business opportunities are leaving. Because if we had more events here on a local basis, then we would have a lot more opportunities. For example, clothing lines, right? Sponsorship. If I'm a guy and I own let's say I own a health food store, and a young kid comes to me and he says, hey, I'm fighting MMA. Could you sponsor me for my show? I say, yeah, where's your fight? It's in New Jersey. What am I going to do with that? My shop is right here. It's on Franklin Avenue in Brooklyn. What kind of help is that going to do if you're fighting in Clifton, New Jersey?
And the thing is, I thought, especially with the new arena opening up in Brooklyn, now this is a real opportunity for mixed martial arts to especially open up maybe in Brooklyn.
Absolutely. I mean, the new arena is going to be beautiful. And, you know, I just think you got to take some of those politicians. I think you got to take them. Just take them. Like saying what you got
pin
me
them
here.
down, right?
Well, not pin them down. Maybe just take them on a journey and say, look, this is what MMA really is. You know, listen.
Have they tried to do that?
No, I'm talking about physically. Right. You know, here's the thing. Like, if you tune in and you see one fight, I've had people say, oh, I can't take Ultimate Fighting. It's bloody, it's violent. If you tune in and you see that one fight where the guy catches an elbow and now there's blood dripping down his face and it's a certain particular referee who doesn't jump in and stop the fight, you're going to feel the same way too. Oh my gosh, it's bloody, it's terrible, right? If you tune in and you go to the Sunday game and it just so happens on that day the boy gets tackled and he falls on his head, he gets a concussion. Oh man, football's violent. Football's not violent. It's not violent. That's just that particular, it happened at that moment. It happens. It's a sportive event and it happens. So
last question.
Yeah.
The future of MMA in New York City, in Brooklyn, and New York State.
Yeah.
Is there a future?
Absolutely, there's a future. You know, everything takes time. Everything takes time. And I believe we've had a few setbacks. This last setback was probably the most, the biggest letdown because everybody was there. I saw people at the assembly. My professor, Henzo Gracie, was there. He brought Frankie Edgar. You know, these are all professionals, you know. And to see us still be let down now, it was really a letdown. But in life, I think what the Senate or whoever these people are making the decisions will learn is that mixed martial artists are fighters. And a fighter is a person who learns how to conquer through adversity. This is an adversity. This doesn't mean we give up. We're going to fight until the end.
It's just one obstacle.
There's another obstacle. There's a lot of obstacles. This is a lot of red tape. There's a lot of red tape. So we're gonna fight and we're gonna ultimately win.
Well, thanks Sensei Nardu for allowing me to come in the Octagon. And we're here in Long Island. And next week we'll be back in Brooklyn. For all of us who are in the zone, I'm Michael Bellamy. Take care and have a safe week. Bye-bye.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at brickartsmedia.org/BIT.